say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's fast gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good afternoon. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge some important people who are here. Assemblyman Don Guardian, Commissioner Chairman John Risley, Commissioner June Burns, Commissioner Maureen Kern, Commissioner Art Shanker, County Clerk Joe Giraldo, County Sheriff Joe O'Donoghue, former Weymouth Mayor Melissa Messina. I'm sorry, Millie Messina. I knew somebody named Melissa Messina, I'm sorry. Retired Judge Mark Sanson, Veteran Advisory Board members and Chair Mike Bongiorno, and of course the Legion Riders, who are a part of every veterans event that I go to, so thank you for being here. I want to introduce somebody who I've known for 26 years. Bernie DeLaury is a retired Navy captain, former U.S. appellate military judge who has spent time in Guantanamo dealing with the 9/11 criminals. He is a retired New Jersey Superior Court judge. He was appointed to the Superior Court of New Jersey in 2005 and retired in 2025. Early in his career, Judge DeLaury served on active duty in the Navy as a judge advocate, recalled to active duty 2004-2007. He was appointed as a tribunal president and member to determine the combatant status of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda detainees. In 2005, Judge DeLaury was appointed an appellate military judge of the United States Navy and the Marine Corps Criminal Court Appeals in Washington. He retired from the military bench and the Navy with the grade of captain after 25 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Bernie DeLaury, United States retired, Navy retired.
Thank you, Colonel Fedorko. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored that County Executive Levinson has invited me to be with you, including our many service veterans and their loved ones, as we observe Memorial Day during our nation's semi-quincentennial. It's so encouraging to see so many veterans of our armed forces here today. Now, it's our duty to observe Memorial Day each year in honor of our war dead. And it is particularly fitting that we take this opportunity during the 250th year of our independence. In more than 25 years with our sea services, I found that I was always a better sailor when I had the privilege to serve with members of the other armed forces. And during that time, I had the particular honor to serve with Marines on quite a few occasions. Now, I have long observed that Marines have, I think, the finest sense of history. In addition to honor, courage, and commitment, our Marines instill into every recruit and candidate a reverence for the Corps' place in history and the role of the Marine in the life of our nation. And with that sense of history comes a special remembrance of and dedication to those who have sacrificed themselves in service to our nation. But the Marines are not alone in their reverence for those Americans who took the oath and pledged their all for the safety, security, and defense of our nation. Each of us today and countless others gathered at similar events across the country pause to remember and honor our fallen. This day of honoring and remembrance traces its roots to the end of the Civil War and Decoration Day, when flags were placed on the graves of the many thousands of dead from that terrible war. Over 100 years ago, Congress rededicated the day to remember those who paid the ultimate price in all of our nation's conflicts. We remember that everyone who rallies to the colors, signs a blank check drawn on the Bank of Liberty and Freedom, paid to the order of the American people. And when that check is paid, the currency is made out in the honor and devotion of the member. And the amounts that we, the people, demand range from service to deployment to separation, loneliness, imprisonment, disability, torture, and death. It seems a very small token on our part that we take a few brief moments to say thank you and remember. In this solemn place of burial, we remember these gallant ones from our history, even from a time before there was an Atlantic County, and the many hundreds and thousands of other Americans, some of whom are interred here, who gave their lives in the cause of liberty in the 2.5 centuries that have passed. In this place dedicated to our gallant dead, we remember their sacrifices and virtues. They served the noble profession of arms, and we observe their sacrifices by the solemn act of decking their graves with flags in remembrance. It's also most fitting that we honor, thank, and respect those veterans who live amongst us, for they stand on the shoulders of the heroes who have gone before them. We all know what a dangerous place the world is, and our troops are in harm's way in some of the most dangerous spots on the planet. Our naval, air, and military forces are deployed around the globe, from the Straits of Hormuz to the China Sea to the Eastern Mediterranean to the Gulf and to the very heart of Europe. Thankfully and usually, we are there chiefly as a deterrent to keep hot spots from getting any hotter. But our nation and its armed forces stand ready to go into harm's way on a moment's notice as we see active operations against implacable adversaries playing out now in real time. While the current operations may enter different phases and experience changing tempos, the danger to our forces remains real, and the potential for escalation is ever present. Even today, our adversaries and their willing surrogates and proxies project lethal force upon our service members and installations in the Middle East. Our military members and assets have been attacked nearly 216 times since the terrorist attacks against Israel on October 7th, 2023, resulting now in at least 11 fatalities from that incident and dozens of injuries. Since the war in Iran began in February of this year, Iranian-backed militias have struck U.S. sites in Iraq and Syria and our naval and air assets over 600 times. Additionally, the Pentagon has reported more than 10 attacks on American forces since the April truce, with regional strikes impacting at least 16 of our sites in the region. Now, I know that every veteran here today stands in solidarity with our active duty members there and throughout the world. So today, we honor those who unselfishly placed their lives on the line for our freedom in times of war and violent conflict, in places of danger, and in support of those in the fight. Every service member is an ordinary person called upon to do extraordinary things. They heard the call of duty and they answered it. They left their families, their homes, their comforts, and their lives, not for recognition or fame or even for the honor that we bestow upon them today. They took the oath to defend and protect our nation and our cherished way of life, even to the last full measure of devotion. Now, in this country, we usually wear the poppy on Memorial Day to honor our service members who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. In fact, today, the Friday before Memorial Day, is National Poppy Day. In Britain and the Commonwealth, the poppy is evident on November 11th as Armistice and Remembrance Days are observed there. The poppy, as a symbol honoring our war dead, entered the culture from a poem written by a Canadian Army medical officer during the First World War, reflecting upon the wild poppies growing amid the graves of his fallen comrades in Flanders Fields. The poem hit a chord then as it does now. In the last years of that war, it became common for soldiers to write poems in reply to Colonel McRae's lament. One such reply was from an American infantry lieutenant, J.A. Armstrong of Wisconsin. He wrote in response what many veterans would recognize as the spirit that enlivened the promises they made when they first took the oath. Your flaming torch aloft we bear, with burning heart and oath we swear to keep the faith, to fight it through, to crush the foe, or sleep with you in Flanders Fields. So, together, this Memorial Day, we celebrate and solemnly reaffirm our faith in those who acted greatly with faithful hearts. They believed in and wanted with all their might, up to the price of their very lives, a free nation with a free people who are worth fighting and dying for. It's my ardent hope that we will always remember what our valiant dead have done for all of us by their sacrifice. I trust that we will always honor them by attending to their surviving spouses and children. I pray we keep faith with those who came home alive, but with injuries, physical, mental, and spiritual. I know by your presence here today that you always have done these things and ever will. This Memorial Day and hereafter, let us always be faithful, let us always honor, let us always remember them. Thank you very much.